One of the most prestigious distance turf races in the country and one of the most historic sporting venues in the world. Get ready to experience the ambiance and charm of Saratoga next on Fox Sports 1. As hard as it is to believe, the end of summer is just around the turn. Here in upstate New York, the intensity on the track heightens even as the August days grow shorter, as racing's annual celebration fills the air with the urgency and adrenaline that make this the summer place to be. Today, it's a lawn party at the Spa, as some of the game's top turf runners will be tested over a mile and a half on the grass, including two who hit the gate with a score to settle. 5 weeks ago on the Jersey Shore, Twilight Eclipse had victory in his sights, but was edged out by a horse making his North American debut.
On the outside, here's Main Sequence. Main Sequence surges to win it.
Today, they come to the gate for a rematch in the 40th running of the Sword Dancer Invitational. Could this be the makings of a rivalry? It's time to saddle up. The Jockey Club Tour on Fox Sports 1 saves the best party of the summer for last. And it all gets started right now. Welcome to the beautiful summer retreat of Saratoga Springs, New York, just 20 minutes north of Albany. The town itself is a throwback to earlier days, quiet and peaceful during the day and jumping at night. But the reason the population more than triples every summer is the racing, producing some of the best on the planet in a setting that is second to none. We have beautiful conditions on this Sunday afternoon, 73 degrees, partly cloudy. The main track is fast and the turf course listed as firm. You can also catch a Spanish language telecast on Fox Sports Deportes, and you can watch along on the Fox Sports Go app as well. I'm Greg Wolf. Great to have you with us here on this Sunday afternoon for our third and final stop here in the Jockey Club Tour on Fox at Saratoga. And if you've been watching all year long, you'll notice a lot of familiar faces that will line up in our feature event in the Grade 1 Sword Dance. So we'll meet the cast and crew in just a little bit. Here's the races that we're going to see today. The $100,000 Alydar Stakes will start things off. And then our feature event, the Grade 1 Sword Dancer, worth $500,000 on the grass. Joining me here on set, as always, former champion jockey and still among the top 10 riders all time here at Saratoga, Richard Migliore. Mig, what are we keeping our eyes on today?
Well, we have something for everybody. We have a 1 1/8 race on the dirt in the Alydar, the 1 1/2 Sword Dancer, which has the buddings of a rivalry between Twilight Eclipse and Main Sequence, who slugged it out in the United Nations.
Yeah, that was over July 4th weekend. You saw that race here on Fox Sports 1. Let's get started with 3 things you need to know. Start us off.
Well, I think Main Sequence is a horse to keep an eye on. He's a bit quirky, can be a difficult horse to ride, a difficult horse to train. As you keep an eye on him in the early stretch in the United Nations, keep an eye on his tail as he swishes or flags his tail around. He's kind of telling Rajiv Miraj, his jockey, don't do too much with me. I'm kind of the boss of this situation. And as soon as he hits the front, Greg, he pulls up when he makes lead. He thinks his job is over. Rajiv Miraj timed it perfectly here. He has to do it again to win the Sword Dancer.
Let's meet the rest of our crew now from the New York Racing Association. Our handicapping extraordinaire, Andy Serling, who's been making us some good money. Simon out sick with the flu. We wish him well. We're going to meet Maggie Wolfendale as well, our body language expert. Andy.
Thanks a lot, Greg. The Sword Dancer is a race that's steeped in tradition and history. And at 1.5 miles, it'll make 1.5 trips around the Saratoga inner turf course. They'll be going around 3 turns, and they'll be racing in front of the stands 2 times. But to find out more about this race and its history, let's get some race facts from Equibase. Bill Mott, who has the 3 Amiras Prince, has started 21 horses in the Sword Dancer, won it 3 times. Graham Motion, he leads all trainers on turf stakes in the country with victories. So far, he's got the favorite Main Sequence. Only 2 Sword Dancer winners have won the Eclipse Award, but they were great horses. The mighty John Henry, as well as Theatrical. Javier Castellano, leading rider up here, has only won this race once, and that was with a long shot a few years ago. As we head out to the 4th member of our team, Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Andy. Well, this year at Saratoga, we will say goodbye to a racing legend. NYRA track announcer Tom Durkin will hang up his tack, so to speak. With a career that started in 1971, he has called the Breeders' Cup from 1984 to 2005. Also was the voice of the Triple Crown for 7 years. Tom has called races in 6 countries over 50 different tracks. We will say goodbye to him here on the show a bit later. But for now, Greg, back to you.
Thanks, Maggie. When we come back, we'll meet Mike Rapoli. He fell in love with this game as a teenager on the rail at Aqueduct. His success in business has allowed him to live out his dream of being a horse owner, and he's making the most of it.
He's useless. Look at him. He hasn't been off the couch in 5 hours. There's a smell coming from this whole area.
Yes! What? What? Yes!
I hate you, Fox Sports 1. You really needed to add even more college football to Saturday. Thank you for ruining a perfectly decent husband.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be arriving in the land of FC Barcelona.
Your love lifting me higher.
Saratoga is a family-friendly venue, so it's really nice to be able to have a place where everyone can go, hang out, and enjoy each other's company. There's people to see, horses to watch, and money to be won. Our family, we print the horse list in the morning, and we choose our horses by name, and then we bet. They like the colors and the drama.
And hopefully get a few autographs.
Yes.
That's on the agenda, right, guys?
Yeah.
Well, it is tradition, and it is fun for the entire family. Welcome back to the Jockey Club Tour on Fox. And a look at the Alydar Stakes. We are 17 minutes to post in our first of back-to-back stakes races, and no surprise at all that the favorite in this race is Alpha. He was a dead heat winner of the Travers a couple years ago here, and then last year he won the Woodward Stakes, two of the biggest races on the calendar at this prestigious meet. I want to remind new Naira Rewards members signups to receive $200 in new member bonuses plus free past performances with the Saratoga Starter Kit promotion. It's everything you need to bet the Saratoga meet, so sign up for a free account today at NairaRewards.com. Mike Rapoli grew up never coming to Saratoga. He said his car would never last the 3-hour trip. He's had plenty of opportunities since then. The Queens native's motto in business is think big, dream bigger. And his big ideas in business have afforded him the luxury of chasing his dreams in horse racing. Here's Maggie Wolfendale with more on one of the premier owners in the game.
You know, it's been a childhood dream. I mean, I used to go to Aqueduct in Belmont when I was 13, 14-year-old kid. My parents don't know, but sometimes cutting out of school and, you know, with $20 in my pocket, bet $2 a race, and, you know, I was addicted ever since. You know, I always said when I get older, I want to own a racehorse, and 10 years ago, I owned my first racehorse. And to me, it's watching these beautiful animals run down the stretch at 45 miles an hour, and, you know, the whole game, the handicapping, the Saratoga racetrack, the people, the jockeys, the silks, the competitive nature, you know, winning, losing. It's just so exciting. It's become a family event where from my 88-year-old grandmother to my 9-year-old niece, we have 40, 50 people at the races, and you know, it's like an added day to the holiday. You know, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have Easter, and then you have one of the grade ones or big races, and you know, and I get to name them after some of my family members, and it's just a lot of fun when you play with everyone, friends and family.
They're off in the Alabama. They're coming down to the finish. Stop charging. Maria has won the Alabama.
The goal was to hopefully advertise that she's a big spender and maybe embarrass her to the point where she might think about spending. It's actually done the opposite, to where now she thinks she's got a reputation to uphold, and she's got stop spending Maria, stop shopping Maria, stop charging Maria, unlimited budget. It's kind of backfired. Now she also watches the purse, and if the horse wins, she figures out what the horse wins and thinks that's her money to spend.
Mike Rapoli loves his horse racing, and he loves his Mets baseball and St. John's hoops as well. Want to remind you to follow at ABR Live on Twitter and join the tweet up using the hashtag TJC Tour and be part of the horse racing conversation. We'll share some of your tweets throughout the show. It is time for America's Best Racing Handicapping Challenge. Simon in absentia will be part of this as well, even though he has the flu. But Andy Serling, we are counting on you. All proceeds going to the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. All right, we'll try and get back to Andy Serling in just a moment with his selections. Again, we take a look at this race here. We're 14 minutes to post. The big favorite is Alpha, who is 8-5 on the board. And very important sometimes as well at racetracks like this, where horse to course does come into play, and it certainly does with Alpha. He loves this racetrack like very few do as we take a look at him right there. 4 for 5 here at Saratoga. And Mig, he hasn't just won races here, he's won big races.
Yeah, and his dead heat in the Travers really was a stellar performance. He looked beaten that day, and he willed himself to get there. Last year's Woodward, he loved the muddy track, and he is going to be very tough today.
8-5 favorite on the board. We'll get to Andy Serling's selections when we return. There is your favorite for the Alydar Stakes. Field of 6, and this is going to be his last go-around here at Saratoga. Kieran McLaughlin would love to get him to go out a winner. We'll be back.
Hey, Jake, come on over here for a sec. Why you want to touch my dart so bad? Why does he want to touch it?
Who said I wanted to touch it?
Jake, you know they got affordable leasing program. Just think, Jake, you could get your own and you could touch.
Performance by the former champion. Is Henderson's grit enough to get through the beast? UFC wins left and right. UFC Fight Night, Saturday at 10 on Fox Sports 1.
Back on the Jockey Club Tour on Fox, in time for the post parade for the Alydar Stakes. And during the post parade, when you see the Keeneland logo next to a horse's name, it means that horse a graduate of the Keeneland sales in Lexington, Kentucky. Mig, we start off with Alpha, 4 for 5 on the course here at Saratoga.
Yeah, Alpha looks terrific. He's not a very big horse. He's never really grown more than what he was at 2 years old, but he's got some speed. He's got post one. He's got Hall of Famer Johnny Velasquez.
And he comes in off a 6-month layoff as well, so that is a big question mark for him. Here is Dolly, a 9-time winner, including a win 2 back at Belmont.
Dolly's a very talented horse, but I think he's better around one turn. It seems like his 2-turn efforts aren't as strong, but he looks good on the track.
Kieran McLaughlin trains the favorite Alpha. He also trains the 3, Farhan, who was by 2006 Belmont winner Jazzle.
And Farhan's got races good enough to win this race as well, so you can't overlook him even though they're an uncoupled entry.
Easter Gift is the 4-horse he's trained by Chad Brown. He was a very good third in the Grade 1 Clark behind Will Take Charge and Game On Dude back in November.
Yeah, threw in a poor effort at Monmouth, but his Clark handicap race would be good enough to be competitive here.
This could be the hottest horse coming into the race. Zaba, the 5-horse, has won 2 in a row.
Yeah, and Zaba's running well in South Florida, and horses have done well here at Saratoga coming out of South Florida.
And Storm and Monarco rounds out the field. Tried Grade 2 Company last start. He struggled there. Prior to that, he had back-to-back wins. All right, let's try again with Andy Serling. We've got our technical issues behind us. Andy, again, for charity, where are you going to wind up in the Alydar?
Can't get rid of me that easily. I'm alone without Simon Bray. I hope he's getting better. I think there's going to be some speed to run with Alpha early from the outside 2 horses, and I'm hoping it sets it up for the 4, Eastern Gift, a horse who can take advantage of the pace. And as Richie said, his race in the Clark 2 back would win this. Had a little trouble last time. 30 to win on him. A $10 box with the 2, Dolly. Simon bet 20 to win on Easter Gift as well. He's got a $5 box, excuse me. If any of the 1, the favorite, the 2, Dolly, and of course the 4, Easter Gift, run 1-2, Simon will have a $5 exacta as we head back to Greg.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. And again, all proceeds go to Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. There is Alpha. That is the favorite, and standing by with his trainer, Maggie Wolfendale.
I'm here with trainer Kieran McLaughlin, who will send out Alpha from the 1 hole today in the Alydar Stakes. And when you talk about horses for courses, Alpha and Saratoga are synonymous. He's 4 for 5 here and has also picked up wins in both of the biggest races, the Travers and the Woodward here. Talk about why he likes it so much here.
Well, I'm not sure exactly why he likes it so much, but maybe it's just the weather and the track and back training at Green Tree. He just loves it back there. We're able to graze him twice a day, and he's just training great. Unfortunately, he hasn't run in quite a few months, but he's here at Saratoga where he's won 3 years in a row.
So what do you feel about him heading into this race? I mean, obviously, he's facing a little lesser competition than he has in the past.
Yeah, he's doing great, and we feel like Johnny rides him well. We're happy to have him. The one hole should not be a negative. The only thing is sometimes he acts up a little bit in the gate, but we feel like all systems are go today, and he should run very well.
Kieran, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, it was horse racing's greatest rivalry, affirmed and Alydar. Alydar made it special, even though he never won during the Triple Crown. Great rivalry.
On Fox.
This is Ira, my oldest brother.
This is Jose, my younger brother.
We went to the jockey school and there we spent 2 years, and then he come here. I started riding the next year, and then I come here. I like it too much, you know, I was with Ira, we riding together.
We got some mentors, you know, like Piro and Angel help us a lot. Experienced riders like Johnny, Cornelio. Every day you learn a new thing.
We have a lot of good people around us, but we're working so hard.
You're on the race, you think about, you just want to win the race. You want to pass the wire first, no matter who is on the race, you know. And you have to try for a different owner or different trainer. I want to win the Derby, the Breeders' Cup, the Saratoga, everything. I want everything. The sky is the limit, I'm saying, you know, for us.
Well, stars are tomorrow, but they are rising fast. Both Irad and Jose in the top 5 of the jockey standings, and there is Irad Ortiz Jr. He'll be in the Alydar aboard the 3 Farhan for Kieran McLaughlin, and he was aboard that horse on back-to-back victories earlier this year. There is a look at Alpha, dead heat winner of the Travers here a couple of years ago. Let's check in with Andy for a formulator fact.
Well, one of the biggest questions in this race, maybe the biggest question, is how will Alpha run off the layoff? And if you use DRF's formulator, you can look up how the trainer Kieran McLaughlin does with horses coming off of 6 months layoff, much like Alpha is. As you can see, that is not a concern. With 24 starters over the last 5 years, 8 of them have won, and the ROI for every $2 you bet, you got $2.26 back. The layoff should not be a concern, guys.
Yes, certainly very good at getting these horses ready off the bench, and that is the case with Alpha. He has been off for the last 6 months. Meanwhile, there is a look at Easter Gift, and Easter Gift, Andy, right now at 2-1 on the board.
You know, Easter Gift is a very logical alternative to Alpha because actually, even if Alpha runs his good race, Easter Gift can beat him. His last race, a big concern, but he did have enough early trouble in the race that perhaps you can excuse his bad performance. As we talked about earlier, if he runs back to his race before that, when third behind 3-year-old champion will take charge, he will be a handful for even the good Alpha.
He was second in this race last year, and he's getting a lot of respect right now. Here is Dolly. For more on Dolly, let's go to Maggie.
Yeah, guys, Dolly's kind of your blue-collared horse in this field. Back in December of 2012, he was acquired by Rudy Rodriguez and Mike Dubb for only $15,000. Since then, he has made $338,000 for his connections, and a win here today would put him over the $500,000 mark. Now, he's run well around 2 turns back at Aqueduct, so the question is, can he handle the 2 turns here at the Spa? Greg?
Maggie, thank you. Well, Mig, there is Alpha loading up. He's going to be on the inside, obviously. He has speed. Who's going to pressure him early on?
Well, there is speed from the outside, Stormer, Monarco, and Saba. The thing to keep an eye on is how Alpha acts in the starting gate. Kieran McLaughlin alluded to it. Alpha can act up, and it's up to Johnny Velasquez and the assistant starter to handle him as quietly as possible. He looks like he's being good so far, so maybe that's going to bode well for him.
Well, some of his best performances is obviously when he was broke cleanly and got to the front. He had a gate-to-wire win in the Grade 1 Woodward. Probably his best moment. That was on a sloppy track last August of last year. Tom Durkin with the call. Here's the Alydar from Saratoga.
And they're off. Strubman Monarcos, there goes Chaba. Chaba sent to the lead, but speed from the inside from Alpha. Into the first turn, Chaba grabs the inside, almost grabbed the inside. Alpha and Johnny Velasquez take a foothold, and they take the lead. Alpha in front. And then it's Chaba displaced down the lead, now running along in second, followed by Storman Monarcos third by 5. And on the inside, it's stalling to his outside is Easter Gift, and Lagging behind the rest is Farhan. Opening quarter, 23 1/5 seconds. So it is a Travers winner on the lead down the backstretch. Alpha, a length. Chopper runs along in second. Storma Monarchos up close on hold and third. Dolly on the rail. Easter Gift alongside him. Farhan drafting in behind those two. Alpha through a half, 46 4/5 seconds. The pace is legitimate and Alpha's opening up. Into the far turn now with a half mile remaining. It's Alpha out there now by 3. Chavo full out, but still second as they're on the far turn. Storma Monarchos runs along in third, is now starting to gather some momentum. Easter Gift, Farhan, and Dolly all together at the back of the pack. Alpha, the leader, Storma Monarchos takes a crack at the lead now as they come to the top of the stretch, and Farhan is rolling too on the far outside. And now the field turns for home. Alpha confronted by Farhan on the outside and Storma Monarchos between them. And at the top of the stretch, it is Farhan in front. Farhan in front. Storma Monarchos takes to the outside. Alpha is spent. And farther back, it's Dolly fourth, and they're coming down to the finish. And it is Farhan today. Farhan with a decisive victory over Storma Monarchos. And Dolly was fourth.
Well, Alpha got things the way he wanted, but it is his stablemate, the long shot Farhan, who takes the Alydar under Irad Ortiz Jr., who we just talked about in our Stars of Tomorrow.
Well, it seems appropriate he win off of that feature, but Alpha made the lead, but he had to work hard to make it. And when they break 47, they went 46 4 here. That's very fast for a 2-turn race at Saratoga, and he just had to work too hard to have anything left in the stretch, Greg.
Let's take a look at the replay here, brought to you by Roberts Racetrack Television Network. So he had 23 1, 46 4 for the half for Alpha, and then just nothing left in the tank in the stretch.
No, and you could see Johnny was trying to nurse him along, but there really was nothing left. And Farhan got a perfect trip under Irad Ortiz, laid back, came out for the stretch drive, and drew away powerfully. This is a talented colt. They got the perfect setup today.
So huge performance from Farhan. How many times do you have a trainer with an uncoupled entry in a race and they surprise you with a bigger price?
Well, it happens quite often. I don't think this was by design the way the race worked out, but this was a good security blanket.
He was 15 1 on the morning line. He took a lot of support. He goes off at 9 2. Standing by with a winning trainer, Andy Serling.
I'm here with winning trainer Kieran McLaughlin. Well, one of them didn't work out that well, but it's good to have some backup.
Yes, it is very nice to have some backup, and Irad's just riding unbelievable. I think he's 3 for 3 today. But Alpha, you know, is a little tight on the first turn, made him go a little quicker than maybe Johnny wanted, but it was a good run to be third after such a long layoff.
Yeah, good start for him. And Farhan, this was the best race he's ever run.
Yes, he's a nice horse, and he had been away 4 months also, so it was a great effort, and we're pleased to be in the winner's circle.
Always good to have some backup. Thanks a lot, and congratulations, Kieran.
Thank you.
Great win for Kieran McLaughlin. Farhan with the victory at 9 2. Picking up the pieces for Alpha, who was favored in this race. Irad Ortiz Jr., his third victory on the afternoon. Farhan with a win in the Alydar. The Sword Dancer is next.
Beautiful Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
Back on the Jockey Club Tour on Fox, and winning rider Irad Ortiz Jr. teaming up with Kieran McLaughlin. Whenever we show you the winner's circle here on Fox Sports 1, it is presented by historic Keeneland Racecourse. In a career performance from Farhan, the best win by far of his career, his 6th win in 16 starts, and his first try at Saratoga, a winning effort. He goes off at odds of 9 2 and returns $17.80. Actually, a little bit better than that. So nice price there. Storma Monarchos and Alpha round out the field. Let's check back in with Maggie.
Here with winning rider Irad Ortiz aboard Farhan today. Irad, you are in the zone, 3 for 3 today. Talk about your ride on Farhan today, perfectly timed as well.
Well, first thing I want to say is thanks God, and I just followed the instruction for my trainer. He just told me, break out of there and, you know, try to slow down the more that you can and come running in the end. And that's what he do. He was ready. He bring it ready. I have to say, congrats to the McLaughlin team, and they do a great job. That team is on fire, you know, right now. They work very, very good.
Irad, so are you. Good job today.
Thank you.
Maggie, thank you. So 7-1 odds there, and a big surprise in the Alydar. The Sword Dancer is still to come, and that is a race which could have some implications for the Breeders' Cup Turf, which is less than 3 months away. Also some big races that took place that could have Breeders' Cup implications. That took place on Saturday, both here at Saratoga and at Arlington on their biggest day of racing in Illinois. We start with the Alabama that took place here at the Spa. And Stop Charging Maria, the even money favorite, trying to win a second consecutive Grade 1.
They're just a neck behind now as they move toward the top of the stretch. Miss Bessie Lou just in behind the lead. America driving up on the far outside fourth. Catch My Drift has lost several spots, back to fifth. Unbridled Forever moving to the far outside. She spun 6 wide. Joint return cuts the corner. Got Lucky follows her. Top of the stretch, Miss Bessie Lou. Miss Bessie Lou is in front. Stop Charging Maria. And those two come to the 8th pole together. It is Stop Charging Maria who's roused to the lead. Spurred on by Johnny Velasquez as they come down to the line. A final try on the outside from Joint return. They're coming down to the finish. Stop Charging Maria has won the Alabama.
And that win for Mike Rapoli. Mig Untappable, the leader of this 3-year-old filly division, but Stop Charging Maria, now a very close second.
She has put herself squarely in the conversation, and they're going to join up probably in the cotillion. And if Stop Charging Maria was to hand Untappable a defeat, you'd have to put her on top of this category.
Fletcher's second straight win in that race. Meanwhile, at Arlington on Million Day, the Beverly D and Euro Charlene making her U.S. debut.
They turn the corner of the Beverly D, and it's Latia trying to do it all the way. I'm Already Sexy, Somali Lemonade. Euro Charlene's been switched out for a clear challenge. Just the Judge driven up the inside along with Streamed Up Gold. They're deep in the final furlong. Here's Euro Charlene as Ryan Moore plays his hand. It's Euro Charlene close to the finish. Euro Charlene. Euro Charlene has won it from Stephanie's Kitten.
Euro Charlene, the first 3-year-old to win the Beverly D, and she'll remain in the States now with Todd Fletcher.
Got a perfect ride, got in the clear under Ryan Moore as Stephanie's Kitten was extricating herself from traffic and finished with a rush, but a good run from the 3-year-old.
She punches her ticket to the Philly and Mare Turf, a win in your event. The Secretariat, Adelaide, the Belmont Derby runner-up back in July, was the favorite in this one, and an interesting trip down the stretch that could have cost this horse.
And Divine Oath last. Heads are turned for home. It's Adelaide. Adelaide has swooped down in front of Tourist. General Jack between horses. Sheldon Highball. Global View down the center of the course. Divine Oath was outpaced. Adelaide drifts. Adelaide drifts. Coming inside the final half furlong, but keeping on for Ryan Moore. Tourist toward the rail. It's Adelaide. And Adelaide pushed out to win the Secretariat Stakes.
Ryan Moore said he's the best horse in the race going into it. Just thought we would keep it simple. I don't know if that trip down the stretch was simple, Mig.
Well, he did the right thing, though. He's drifting wide, but you don't want to slow him down, continually correcting him as long as somebody's not outside of you that you're going to bother.
The main event was the Arlington Million, and a shocker and a great story.
Hardest core worked off the rail, Real Solution. Up with the birds, red blinkers up the fence, Smoking Sun and Finnegan's Wake. It's Magician who took over into the stretch. Magician leads coming down toward the final furlong. From side glance toward the inside, trying to stay on. Here comes Hardest Core now for Era Louise Vaz. It's Hardest Core and Magician, and these two close to the finish. And it's Hardest Core edging clear at 11-1. Hardest Core has won.
Hardest Core, only $250,000 in earnings coming in, owned by the Bentley family, who has just a 2-horse stable, Mig.
Well, they've got a good one here, and he certainly put himself, I believe, squarely in position to be one of the better turf horses in the country. He's 3 for 3 now since he's been gelded.
He runs down in that race last year's Breeders' Cup Turf winner, Magician. He also beat Side Glance, who's a Group 1 winner in Australia. Where does he, for you, fit in the picture in the Breeders' Cup Turf?
Well, I think he has to be one of the horses you have to give a long, hard look at. He's undefeated this year. He hasn't done anything wrong. And like I said, sometimes horses change. When they're gelded, he's certainly a different horse now.
No, he was a big surprise to everybody coming into this race. He also beats the defending champion, Real Solution. Let's check out the top 5 in that division now with Andy and Maggie.
Well, Beauty and the Beast here out in the paddock taking a look at our list. We agree on the top. I'm going to stick Magician up there as you are. On the second, we'll see how Main Sequence does today. We disagree a little on some other horses.
Yeah, that's right. I stuck Hardest Core in there. After beating that group of horses, I think he belongs. Now, he could be a kind of another Loxy, where it was a Cinderella story and he's done after this one. But I think he has the goods to keep moving on and upward.
He needs to prove it to me one more time, but he may have the goods. I'm going to throw Mukadram in there, a horse who was second in the Dubai World Cup, a race that we showed, and also also won the prestigious King George over at Ascot as we head back to Greg.
All right, Andy, thank you. Maggie with 3 horses we'll see next in the Sword Dancer in her top 5. Mig, I got to hit the town. They let me loose in the spa the other night. We're going to see what I did. Checking out the sights and scenes of the nightlife here in Saratoga. Look out.
Great rivalries coming up for you on FS1 as the #2 team in the nation.
Official database straight to your phone.
Saratoga in the summer is about some of the best racing on the planet. And of course, when you come to the spa, it's also about the great nightlife. An iconic spot right here at the Wishing Well restaurant that's been around for many years. And when you walk inside those doors, it's a veritable who's who of racing. Hall of Famer Gary Jones. How does that sound?
Unbelievable to me. I mean, when you say that next to Alan Jerkins, E.P. Taylor, Billy Mott, Shug McGahee. It can't get any better than that.
I'm here with Bob Lee, owner of the Wishing Well restaurant. Such a special place to so many people here. When you visit Saratoga, you have to come here. Give us a little history about the background of the restaurant.
The restaurant was built in 1823 and has been sort of the summer place to be in Saratoga for over 75 years.
Someone visiting, what would you recommend? What's a must-do for Saratoga when they come?
Caroline Street. Caroline Street, definitely.
No trip to Saratoga is complete without hitting the party scene, and the heart of the party scene is Caroline Street.
It's just so lively. Everyone dressed nice and excited just to be out and meet new people and mingle.
Is it always this crazy here?
It's not, but it is during track season, so it's great. You get people coming from all over, and it's a really good time.
It was a wild night for me, Mig. I didn't get home till almost 11. I think that's when Andy Serling's night started, actually. For more on where to go and what to do at Saratoga and every other stop of the Jockey Club Tour, log on to americasbestracing.net for all the social, fashion, and entertainment news that horse racing has to offer. When we were last here at Saratoga, we invited 20 bloggers from the Boston area to make the trip to the races, and we're doing it again with 20 bloggers from New York to show them what the races are all about at Saratoga and make them fans for life. We're 16 minutes away from our feature event, the Grade 1 Sword Dancer, 1.5 miles on the turf. And this is a bit of a surprise as we look at the odds. It is imagining who we saw here on Fox Sports 1 win the Man of War at Grade 1 back in May. But this horse was 7-2 on the morning line, trained by Hall of Famer Shug McGahee, but he has gotten better and better with age, a 6-year-old now. I want to remind everyone watching, new NYRA Reward signups receive up to $200 in member bonuses, plus free past performances with the Saratoga Starter Kit promotion. It's everything you need to bet the Saratoga meet. So sign up for a free account today at NYRARewards.com. Player safety has become a hot topic in sports today, and we see everything from rules and equipment changes to things like the NFL and Major League Baseball recently. And horse racing is no different. The New York Racing Association is doing their part to make sure that both the human and equine athletes are safe.
Supervising race courses for 22 years now. I've been involved with horse racing since right out of high school. Before you'd grab a handful of dirt and say, well, this feels good and it compacts well. Now you can put it into the laboratory and see how it reacts, what the shear strength is. So that's what's evolved with the testing. I think we've made significant advancements, and I think with the focus on safety have certainly raised everybody's game. For what you'll see on the track, on the inside of the track, you'll see a 4,500-gallon water truck that has a 36 or 38-foot boom. What that allows us to do is to water the inside of the track without putting compaction on an area where the horses are going to be running. You still need that element of the management of the surface, and you have to have guys that are dedicated to their job. I mean, you have to eat, live, and breathe taking care of these surfaces. I think with all the improvements and the enhancements that we've made at NYRA and throughout the industry, being able to pass that on to other racetracks to show the data collection or the maintenance, it's fantastic. We're never finished. There's always room for improvement, and to instill that in all of our people that manage the tracks and take care of them is what we're trying to do, and I think we've been successful.
Mig, how much have things changed from a safety standpoint since when you were riding?
Well, a great deal. I think they pay so much attention to every minute detail. And Glenn Kozak, the man just speaking there, has been such a boost to New York racing and how these tracks are maintained. And he opened up an open dialogue with the jockeys. He wanted jockeys' input to make the tracks comfortable for them. And no other racetrack general manager ever did that before. So it really made a big difference when he opened up the dialogue.
Well, it is certainly great that they are doing their part. And again, a very, very hot topic in sports that we have seen across the board today. Time again for America's Best Racing Handicapping Challenge. And let's go back to Andy Serling.
Well, I'm left alone here to lick the wounds for both Simon and I, as we certainly didn't do anything brilliant in the Alydar, but we'll try to be smart in the Sword Dancer. I feel as though I've already outsmarted myself. I agree that Main Sequence is the horse to beat. I thought the 5 Imagining would offer better value, but apparently the public agrees, and he's a shorter price. I'm betting my 30 to win on Imagining, and I'm making a $10 box, and Imagining's the 5, and I'll have a $10 box for 5. That's with Main Sequence. Simon, he's smart and stayed with Main Sequence. $30 to win number 4 Main Sequence. $10 exacta box with the 4 Main Sequence and the 5 Imagining. We're on similar pages. We'll see what happens as we head back to Greg.
All right, Andy, thank you. And again, all proceeds benefit Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. Hopefully we get some winnings there. If not, we will donate some money of our own accord. So the Sword Dancer, Mig, we are 12 minutes away. So Imagining our favorite here, and a horse that Shug McGahee has said when this horse gets into some trouble, he doesn't like to be in a jumble. If he can get a clear shot, he's fine. So they do want to try and get to the front.
Well, and he shouldn't have too hard a time getting forward position in here. There is some other speed in here, but he has as much speed as anybody else. And the one thing I do like watching him go around the paddock is he's keeping his composure. And sometimes Imagining has a hard time doing that. Got to keep an eye on him. As long as he doesn't get too worked up, he'll be okay.
Tonight, Fox NFL Sunday returns with a preseason special as Jamal Charles and the Chiefs take on Cam Newton and the Panthers. The action starts at 8 p.m. Eastern only on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Meanwhile, back here at Saratoga, that was Graham Motion just leaving our screen there at the bottom. He campaigns Main Sequence, Mick, who we saw win over July 4th weekend in the United Nations. He was very concerned. He thought one of the toughest betting angles is that second race after running a huge race off a big layoff, which is what Main Sequence is doing today.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's worried about him reacting or regressing to that big effort, but he took him back to Fairhill, which is basically heaven on earth for horses, where he can train him quietly out in the country. And we have to keep an eye on Main Sequence as well, Greg, because he acted up at Monmouth and it didn't negatively affect him. So you got to look at what's in or out of character for a particular horse. If he acts up and gets kind of sweaty and does a couple of things wrong, you kind of almost have to forgive it, because he was successful acting that way in New Jersey.
Yeah, Main Sequence is the 4-horse, and there was some thought about running him in the Arlington Million. We showed you the result of that race over in the Chicago area earlier on the show. The owners, though, Flaxman Holdings, had another horse in that race, so Graham Motion said this was an easy decision for me, and this was the race he preferred to run in anyway.
I think he's more accomplished at 1.25 miles. He's got the stamina, 1.5 miles, I should say. He's got the stamina for the 1.5 miles. The 1.25 miles might have been a little bit too much speed for him.
Time for our post parade, brought to you by Keeneland. When you see a Keeneland logo next to a horse, it means it's a graduate of that sale. Here is O Prado, Olay, John Velasquez, and Dale Romans.
Horse that could show some speed, definitely on his toes.
Perfect Timber, leading rider at the meet, Javier Castellano, rides for Roger Atfield, champion trainer in Canada.
A horse that needs to step up his game a little bit, but does like the 1.5 mile distance, and that's a big factor here.
We saw Amiris Prince at the Gulfstream Park Turf Handicap back in February. He struggled in his last start. Bill Mott said, I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, he had more speed last year. This year, he doesn't seem as enthusiastic about it. He needs to find his game again.
Here's the one we were talking about for Graham Motion, winner of the United Nations, Main Sequence.
Last time he wouldn't hook up with the lead horse. This time he did. It's already a positive step that he learned from his first start.
And still our favorite here is Imagining, winner of the Grade 1 Man Award, Belmont, back in May.
Yeah, and he looks great, and I'll go back to this. He's just handling himself very professionally today.
War Dancer, the 6 on the board at 6-1 right now. He's sent out by Kenny McPeak. He stumbled in his last start, and that really cost him.
Yeah, it really cost him any sort of position, and he rallied belatedly. He's another horse, though, accomplished at the 1.5 miles.
Twilight Eclipse, the 7, a horse that does have some pace here, and his trainer, Tom Albertrani, makes it important for this horse to start his kick a little bit earlier than most in the pack.
Yeah, he's pretty much a grinder. He stays on one pace, and he's a horse, though, that was very unlucky to lose last time when Main Sequence ran him down.
Another way that you can get into all the action all the way up to the Breeders' Cup is to play the Breeders' Cup fantasy capping game, and today's Sword Dancer Invitational is the featured race. It's a simple and fun way to follow the biggest races in America on a weekly basis. For more information and registration, go to fantasycapping.com. 8 minutes to post in the Grade 1 Sword Dancer, imagining the horse to beat in a rematch between Main Sequence, the 4 horse, and the 7 Twilight Eclipse. We'll be back with more live racing next.
We're not dead yet. This is war.
The winner of 10 major stake races, including the Belmont and Travers Stakes in 1959, Sword Dancer went down in history as one of the premier American colts of all time. The Sword Dancer Invitational Handicap was inaugurated in his honor in 1975, and what started as a 6-furlong dirt run now spans 12 furlongs across the Saratoga turf.
And Sword Dancer inducted into the Hall of Fame just down the street in 1977. We're 4 minutes to post here in the Grade 1 Sword Dancer. It is still imagining who is the favorite. Let's check in with Maggie.
And I'm here with the main components of West Point Thoroughbreds here, who will send out Twilight Eclipse in today's Sword Dancer. To my right here is Terry Finley's lovely daughter, Erin Birkenhauer, who's the Director of Communications at West Point. Erin, elaborate on your role with the ownership.
Yeah, I've been with West Point Thoroughbreds full-time for about 5 years now. I serve as the Director of Communications, and I'm also on the sales team. Work alongside my dad at the sales, mostly buying 2-year-olds, but we are active at the yearling sales. And my major responsibility is keeping the partners informed, letting them know when their horses are running, how they're doing, how they came out of the race, and really working with the trainers and giving the partners, the full experience of owning racehorses.
Thank you, Erin. It's great to see a young person involved so heavily in racehorse ownership. And Terry, you founded this company back in 1991. Talk about how it's come along. You've had so many successes thus far.
Well, I think the exciting thing is, especially with the partnerships, I mean, anybody can get here and anybody can get here to Saratoga on the big days, and we are over the moon, excited about trying to win a Grade 1 today. And if you win a race at Saratoga, I mean, that's a good day, but to win a Grade 1 would be really special.
Well, Terry, Erin, thank you, and good luck with Twilight Eclipse.
Thank you.
And there is Twilight Eclipse for West Point Thoroughbreds, and Terry Finley, again, second in this race last year and just came up short in the United Nations in his most recent starts to Main Sequence. So trying to turn the tables this afternoon on that horse right there. There's Main Sequence. He'll be ridden today again by Rajiv Mirage. Here's Rajiv on his strategy in today's race.
Well, the start's going to be pretty important because Main Sequence has a history of being a little unsettled in the gate, which has caused him to get off a tad slowly sometimes. So hopefully we get off to a clean start. And then going into that first turn, I hope to see a couple horses go out, Twilight Eclipse and also Amiris Prince and Imagining. I hope they get into some kind of a duel or to set at least an honest pace. Hopefully we can set up shop only a few lengths off the leaders coming into the stretch and make one big run at the end and beat them all.
Well, for more on Main Sequence, let's check in with Andy. Andy, Graham Motion, very concerned about running that huge race, and now his second start back off that long layoff. What do you think?
Well, I think it's not the concern that others may think, because people often worry about European horses coming over here, running a big race, and then coming back and not firing close to their best shot. But this is a horse that's been in Graham Motion's barn for 6 months or so prior to the last race, so he's not really the typical European that shipped over here for this race. So to me, I'm not that concerned. I think he'll get position, and he's very much the horse to beat.
Oh, he's the co-favorite still on the board right now at 2-1, along with the horse that Maggie's going to talk about, Imagining, who's really blossomed as a 6-year-old.
Yes, Greg, he has. And he's behaving beautifully here now for trainer Shug McGahee, and he was behaving in the paddock, as you heard Richie say. But I'm going to look at a horse who really caught my eye taking a look at things, and that was number 3, Amira's Prince. And a disappointing effort last time out for trainer Bill Mott. And when Bill Mott still has faith in his horses after a disappointing effort and reruns them in a Grade 1, that gives me confidence too. This horse was back on his toes, which he wasn't last time, and really a picture of health on the track. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. So Amira's Prince, Mig, at 8-1 on the board. But back to Imagining there. We take a look at him here. Joel Rosario on board for Shug McGahee. And Shug, the Hall of Famer, of course, campaigned Orb in the Derby in 2013. 26% win rate on the turf at this meet.
Yeah, Shug knows how to get his horses ready for, especially for big races. He points to a spot, he has them ready for the big days, and his horses get better with racing, better with age. You see his horses showing their best form at 5 and 6 years old, and that's kind of what we're seeing with Imagining here. He won the Grade 1 Man of War earlier in the year, and if he fires his best shot today, you don't have to imagine him into the winner's circle. He'll probably run himself there.
Not at all. He has won 4 of his last 7 starts, so he certainly is getting better with age. There is O Prado Olé from the inside. John Velasquez will be aboard. He won this race back in 2012 with Point of Entry. Could be a tall order for him here, although Mig, the horse he faced in his last start, and he gave him all he could handle, the Pizza Man. He won the American St. Ledger on that Arlington Million card on Saturday, and that's a horse he beat in there named Dandino, who's really good.
Yeah, and he's got Johnny. Johnny knows the course. He's got an advantageous inside post position. You know he's going to be able to save ground. I'm curious to see with the 4 main sequence if the gate starter, the assistant starter, stays in the gate with him. Sometimes horses are better being alone in there, especially coming from Europe.
Well, there is Imagining. Again, he's the second choice now at 5-2, backs away momentarily. He had a really tough trip in the Grade 1 Manhattan. He won that Man of War that we broadcast, and then he had a 6-wide trip and really struggled the Manhattan.
Yeah, he should get a better trip today, especially if Joel Rosario uses some of his speed to make sure he gets a forward position.
Twilight Eclipse, the last to load here from the outside for trainer Tom Albertrani, trying to turn the tables on main sequence. Here's Tom Durkin with the Grade 1 Sword Dancers at Saratoga.
And they're off. And a tardy start there for main sequence. He spotted the field several lengths. Slow beginning for main sequence. Imagining pokes his head in front early on here with O Prado Olé holding his position at the rail. War Dancer third, and he tucks in behind the early leaders. Then on the outside, it's Twilight Eclipse, followed by Amira's Prince. And on the outside goes main sequence. Started last, Perfect Timber trails the field in the early stages here. So they make their way toward the stretch for the first time here. And Imagining had to take the outside route around the first turn as O Prado Olé held that spot. Twilight Eclipse up close on hold, and now third. War Dancer following O Prado Olé has conceded a clear lead to Imagining now with a lap remaining. So it is Imagining now on an uncontested lead. Headstrong Twilight Eclipse edges up now to be second. O Prado Olé third toward the inside. A very comfortable War Dancer runs along in fourth. And the pace has been a strong one, 47 seconds flat. Very strong at this distance for the opening half mile. By the back of the field, Amira's Prince is now fifth, main sequence, and the trailer is Perfect Timber. So the field making their way toward the backstretch now. Imagining well in the grasp of Joel Rosario. They tried to slow that pace down. Indeed, they did. 3/4 now in 12 and 3. Twilight Eclipse velcroed to the hip of Imagining. And then it's O Prado Olé running along in third. And War Dancer has been guided to the outside for clear running as they approach the far turn. And then it's Amira's Prince now fifth toward the inside. Main sequence and Perfect Timber as the field moves into the far turn. And Imagining keeps rolling along on the lead. He's now in front of length as the field hits the far turn. Twilight Eclipse now is sent after him. Now running second. War Dancer gaining momentum on the outside. And then O Prado Olé down toward the rail. Main sequence is coming powerfully on the outside. And Amira's Prince is in behind horses as the field turns for home. Imagining and Twilight Eclipse going at each other. It's Imagining digging down deep. And he's a stubborn foe today. Imagining holding on to that lead. Twilight Eclipse has had the length of the stretch to get by him. And main sequence fires very late in the game. Coming down to the finish. Imagining main sequence almost got there. A hesitant start and a powerful finish for Main Sequence. Defeating Imagining narrowly, Twilight Eclipse was third.
Main Sequence does it again. Starts slow and finishes strong. And now he is 2 for 2, undefeated here in the U.S.
And it looked like he made his run turning into the stretch and almost flattened out a little bit before he got interested again in the last 16th of a mile. And he can flat out run because he spotted this field several lengths at the start. And Rajiv Maharaj basically like driving a car. He let him inch up into the pack, got position, came out for the drive. This was a terrific run.
Replays analysis brought to you by Roberts Racetrack Television Network. Imagining they got what they wanted here with the lead MiG, but then they were in for a battle down the stretch. Not just Twilight Eclipse, here comes Main Sequence.
Well, they had to work very hard for that lead, and he had enough left to fight off Twilight Eclipse, but Main Sequence put in that powerful late run, and you don't have to worry about him hitting the wire too soon. I don't think he had his head in front until right at the finish line, so if he was thinking about pulling up, the race was over by then.
And Graham Motion, the trainer of Main Sequence, had said coming into this race, there is some question as to what his best distance is. He didn't think a mile and a half would be a problem. It certainly was not today.
I think a mile and a half was his best distance. He needed every inch of that mile and a half to get it done today. And I think we are looking at right now the best turf horse at a marathon distance in the country in Main Sequence.
He does wind up going off as your 2-to-1 post-time favorite. There is Imagining, your second-place finisher, just leaving our screen. Twilight Eclipse winds up third, and War Dancer at 8-to-1 completes the superfecta. But this performance about Main Sequence, who has been brilliant here in 2 starts for Graham Motion in the U.S.
He looks very proud of himself there trotting off the turf course. He looks like he knows he got it done. And I really believe that. I believe horses know when they win and when they lose. I'm sure Imagining is going to be a little bit depressed as hard as he worked not to come away with the victory.
Well, this got to mean so much to this man right here, Graham Motion. This is a race that is very special to him. It was nearly a decade ago, a couple of weeks ago, that he won his first Grade 1 here at Saratoga in this very race with a horse named Better Talk Now, who was a horse that Graham Motion said really put me on the map with that Grade 1 win at Saratoga, really changed how he was perceived in the industry.
Well, and he also won his first Breeders' Cup with Better Talk Now in the Breeders' Cup turf, which I'm sure is what they're going to be pointing Main Sequence for as well.
That was a horse who is now 15 years old, ran 51 times, kind of a throwback horse, but accomplished a lot for Graham Motion, and now he has another good one in his barn. Let's go to Andy.
Hey, Graham, well, were you concerned at all when he broke a little bit slowly?
Yeah, I mean, that's been a concern. I said to Rajiv in the paddock, you know, even though he didn't do it last time, we've got to be worried about it. And, you know, that's just what he's done all his life. And spotting these kind of horses, those kind of lengths, is obviously a concern.
How did you feel even with the fast pace when it looked like he might not get there in mid-stretch?
No, the fast pace made me feel much better. I mean, what a job Rajiv did on this horse to wait that long.
Yeah, and he certainly got the money. Any plans for the future right now, or are you just going to enjoy this?
I mean, look, we've got to enjoy this, but we've got to think about the Breeders' Cup. I mean, that's got to be the goal.
And it should be. Thanks a lot, Graham, and good luck in the future.
Thanks, Andy.
Well, think big. Why not with a horse who has been so good for Graham Motion since he's come here to the U.S. Back-to-back wins, the Grade 1 United Nations, and now the Grade 1 Sword Dancer. Graham Motion said it's hard to tell how much that last performance would take out of him. He has more in the tank. We'll be back.
He's useless. Look at him. He hasn't been off the couch in 5 hours. There's a smell coming from this whole area.
Yes! What? What? Yes!
I hate you, Fox Sports 1. You really needed to add even more college football to Saturday. Thank you for ruining a perfectly decent husband.
One of the greatest events there is. You're never safe on the lead. Long shots all over. The best of the best handicappers are here. More exciting than playing anything.
You know what? I'm so happy to be here. I still feel like I'm on cloud 9. Such a great tournament.
Datalink won graded stakes from coast to coast.
He ran down a top field to win the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile.
Data Link from the outside in the Maker's 46 mile.
He established a stakes record in the Monmouth Stakes, and in his West Coast debut won the citation by daylight.
Data Link to win the citation.
Extremely consistent at the top level, Data Link won or placed in 7 graded stakes. Data Link, Warfront's Grade 1 son at Claiborne Farm.
16 devastating women fight for a UFC title. The Ultimate Fighter starts September 10th on Fox Sports 1.
You are here. Whatever USA, a real town being built by Bud Light, is somewhere in this area here. Why the secrecy? Because if we divulge the exact whereabouts before its completion, this amazing town would be overrun by a wave of humanity demanding to do this, whole lot of this, and tons of this for 3 straight days. We can't have that yet. Do you have the whatever it takes to invite a friend and join in? Then go to upforwhatever.com, make your case, and we'll make the town. Okay? Final order.
Bud Light is creating a town this summer, and you could go. Find out more at upforwhatever.com.
We are born makers. We make surprising things. Things that push limits, shift perceptions. We make things that go farther and exceed expectations. The all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Things have changed.
Saturday on Fox Sports 1. Baseball's best are in the heart of the playoff fight.
Back at the wall, it's gone.
Posey, Upton, and Harper have no room for error.
Lays out and makes the catch.
As the postseason nears, what happens now matters in October.
It's out of here.
It's a pressure-packed doubleheader. Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
Meet legendary celebrity owners. Witness world-class racing. Enjoy exclusive social events. Mingle with the sport's top owners. Learn from industry leaders. And tour incredible breeding operations. The Thoroughbred Owner Conference at Keeneland Racecourse in Lexington, Kentucky, October 13th through 16th. To register, go to ownerview.com.
The Jockey Club Tour on Fox, and it is main sequence in the main event. We're in the winner's circle, and it's presented by historic Keeneland Racecourse. Main sequence, back-to-back Grade 1 victories at Monmouth and now here at Saratoga for Graham Motion. Rajiv Mirage aboard for the winning ride. And Mig, what a performance. Main sequence pays $6.10.
Yeah, and another big performance. He's got to overcome those gate problems because one day that'll come back to haunt him. But, boy, he was able to get it done today. Very game by imagining to be second.
For more on main sequence, let's check in with Maggie.
And I'm here with his winning rider, Rajiv Mirage. And Rajiv, your jockey strategy made you look clairvoyant. Were you concerned, though, when he broke slow?
I kind of thought that it might happen, so I wasn't really concerned. I just wanted to do what I needed to do to adapt to him breaking slowly from there. And everything kind of fell into place perfect after that, so I guess it really didn't hinder us that much.
Well, Raj, great ride once again. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, brilliant effort there from Rajiv Mirage, and he had some issues early on, Mick.
Yeah, and you can see there he was in the hands of the assistant, started trying to keep him straight. He was doing his job. Horse was, I think, just a little bit fighting him, just a little bit reluctant to get his head straight, and then he got off a little bit poorly. But Rajiv did a great job by sitting chilly and not panicking at that point.
How difficult is that to try and relax when you're in that situation and you see yourself spotting the field 7-8 lengths?
Well, at that point, you have to play the hand that was dealt you, and he played it perfectly, saved as much ground as he could on all the turns before he came out wide for the stretch run. And then, boy, he really finished because they came home in 23 and change for the last quarter of a mile, and he made up about 4 lengths, so he really did some run in the last part.
Well, what a performance, and you got to think big with this horse right now. So Graham Motion is thinking Breeders' Cup. Again, it was 10 years ago that he won this race. His first Grade 1 at Saratoga with Better Talk now. Well, he's become one of the best trainers in the game since that time. A preview you can only see here coming up next. 2 of the most beloved horses in recent memory. The first foals from Horses of the Year, Zenyatta and Rachel Alexandra, and we'll say goodbye to a legend. Tom Durkin's final couple weeks. Coming up, we'll be back.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Hey, how was work?
Great.
You need to just cut it down. What's the status?
Network's up 100%.
Hi, how was your weekend?
It was great.
In the Army Reserve, all it takes is 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year to get the skills, training, and strength of being in the Army.
What's real and what's not about Bud Light's Town Whatever USA? Let's clarify. Not real. Real. Probably not real.
Though I have questions.
You and a friend experiencing 3 days of full-on whateverness? Real. A Bud Light tourism team looking for people in bars across America? Real. Me? Feeling real. Creds? Real enough.
I went to law school.
Bud Light is creating a town this summer, and you could go. Find out more at upforwhatever.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be arriving in the land of FC Barcelona.
Your love lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting higher and higher. Keep on.
Masterful performance by the former champion. Henderson battles Dos Anjos. UFC Fight Night. Saturday at 10 on Fox Sports 1.
This is unbelievable! Zenyatta! What a performance! One we'll never forget!
Who could forget that dramatic stretch run in the 2009 Breeders' Cup Classic? Well, this summer, Zenyatta's first foal, Cosmic One, has been training here at the spa under the tutelage of John Sheriffs and could be among next year's Derby hopefuls. But Cos will be looking over his shoulder for the offspring of another famous filly, one who took Saratoga by storm.
Macho again! They're coming down to the finish! It's going to be desperately close! Here's the wire! Rachel won!
5 years ago, Rachel Alexander became part of this track's rich history and becoming the first female to win the Woodward. In recent weeks, Jess's Dream, the offspring of Rachel and recent Hall of Fame inductee Curlin, has also been training here in Saratoga.
We feel honored that Barbara and Stone Street chose us to train him. He's settled in very well, very smart, classy horse, and we hope that we have great luck with him. His pedigree is off the chart. Hopefully he's horse of the year like his mother and father were, but that's a lot to ask, but we'll hope for the best.
Oh, and apparently Zenyatta's first foal, Cosmic One, he's a ladies' man. When the ladies get close, they can cozy right up. If you're a guy, he tends to bite, so be careful. For more on where to go and what to do in Saratoga and every other stop on the Jockey Club Tour, log on to americasbestracing.net for all the social, fashion, and entertainment news that horse racing has to offer. Our guys come through yet again. Well done, Andy Serling. Coming back with $108, all for Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance, and Simon with $199.50. Well done to both of those two. It has been quite a ride, and horse racing won't be the same when he is gone. Tom Durkin, the voice of New York racing for the last 24 years, is calling it a career 2 weeks from now. He has likened his race calls to a story, each one with a narrative and a plot. But for a man with a background in the theater, he has provided just that, theater and drama with his race calls. Here's Maggie Wolfendale with a curtain call for a legendary voice.
In the middle of the track is Arrgh! They're coming to the finish, and it's all
The voice is familiar. Legendary race caller Tom Durkin, a fixture on the New York racing circuit for the last 24 years.
And welcome to Saratoga.
But his illustrious career as an announcer spans 43 years, rising up the ranks and calling some of the greatest moments in modern racing history. As a youth, Tom developed a passion for announcing.
I grew up in Chicago and I idolized the track announcer at Arlington Park, Phil Georgieff. I wanted to be Phil Georgieff in the worst way. And he was a great announcer, very energetic, lively, exciting.
Secretariat all by himself. America's super horse.
I don't sound a bit like Phil, but I think I got my start actually imitating.
And they're off.
My first job was actually at the Fond du Lac County Fair in 1971. Since then, it's just been one great break after another.
Tom's biggest break occurred back in 1984 when he was tapped to announce an event that would change the face of racing, the Breeders' Cup World Championships.
What a finish! Wild again! Gate Dancer! Sluagal in between them!
As the announcer for the Breeders' Cup, he's called all the big races.
Giants Causeway and Tisdale! A heart-pounding, pulsating stretch drive!
His calls have been classic the instant they've come out of his mouth.
First to the Linton, a dramatic finish, and here is the wire! And Sunday Silence holds on, and he wins by a desperate neck.
Tom's greatest contribution, however, might just be his uniquely innovative style.
Tom Durkin revolutionized race calling by making a story out of the running of the race.
Rachel Alexandra, macho again. Here's the wire. Rachel won. She is indeed Rachel Alexandra the Great.
He makes a race fun to listen to.
Spine-tingling stretch drive. The horse comes back. Unbelievable. This is the greatest comeback since Lazarus.
There was a horse called Yaka Hekimekadola back in the 80s. And, you know, you name a horse like that, fine, I'll give you what you want.
And the trailer is Dola Rolla Rolla Raka Daka Mola Hola.
Yaka Dika Mola Hola, Hikimika Raka Naka Dola Rolla Cola Cola.
We're going to miss him a lot. Sad to see him go, but happy for him to go enjoy all the things that he loves to do.
At the end of the day, there's only one Tom Durkin, and guys like that are irreplaceable.
It's been a very happy experience for me, and I look for many happy years of sitting out there.
Have a great retirement.
It's Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do.
Well, racing is truly losing a legend. We got the whole gang here on set. Maggie Wolfendale, Andy Serling joining us. And Andy, he brought humor to his calls, but also great drama. What did he mean to racing?
I think he means everything. He brought such excitement to the game for us, and he's had the ability to turn a phrase and turn a race into an event every time, and there will never be another Tom Durkin, as far as I'm concerned. He was race calling, especially in New York.
Mick, what are you going to remember most?
Just how he could pick up a horse before anybody else could. Even before I could. I remember I was coming back on a filly one day, and before I knew she was coming back, he said, she's coming back. So he to me, just knew what was going to happen before it happened. He was such a student.
Well, Tom Durkin joins us now. And Tom, I think I speak for everybody, certainly here on set, but in the game of racing, that you will be sorely, sorely missed in the sport of horse racing. You brought so much to the game. What are you going to miss most about it when you move on?
Well, my accountant tells me my paycheck. he was the only one that said, come on, do you really have to do this? I don't know. You're going to have to ask me that question a year from now, what I'm going to miss most. Certainly a lot of passion in my life has been directed into describing these races, but I don't know really what I'm going to miss the most. Outside the money.
Well, Tom, I was thinking about this, and everybody's been asking you racing questions. With your vocabulary, are you great at crossword puzzles?
I'm not bad at crossword puzzles, actually, but that New York Times one, that's a toughie. The Sunday New York Times one, no, out of my class.
Well, Tom, I'm just curious, Tom, what's your favorite memory from working at NYRA and calling races?
My favorite memory, Oh, I guess that Breeders' Cup day in '95 with Cigar, that was a great afternoon. Just the compilation of all these wonderful performances, particularly here at Saratoga. I mean, I live right about 6 blocks from here, but my soul really resides here at Saratoga Racecourse.
Tom, Maggie here, and for me personally, you've always taught me such vocabulary and explanation of horses' names. How do you inflect that upon your race calls, and also how does your theater background play into you giving such brilliant calls day in and day out?
Well, a part of the training as an actor has to do with the creative process, and you learn how to build a character. It starts out with something, and then you just build on from it. It's kind of like a tree that has limbs that branch off, and you just start. And I learned the creative process that way. And then you look at races as little stories to be told, and there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. There are protagonists, antagonists, and everybody knows who the characters are because they've got their past performances. So I just try to tell that story, and the theater helped a lot, particularly just being able to get up in front of people and talk.
Tom, you've been a thespian there, certainly up in the booth. At the Hall of Fame, when you were honored just the other week, you got a little bit emotional. Has it started to set in? What do you think is going to happen finally when it is your last day?
What's going to happen? I'm going to go over to Ciro's and have a couple drinks.
Have you reflected back on it, though?
But the next day, I'll be on Labor Day, which is actually closing day at the track. I'll just be out in the backyard, signing autographs, getting pictures taken, and like my friend says, shaking babies and kissing hands.
Well, Tom, thank you very much. Everyone has loved your calls, and you will certainly be remembered for a long, long time in this game. So sad to see you go, but you've provided us with a whole lot. NYRA has already named their next voice here to succeed Tom Durkin, and that will be Larry Colmus, the voice of the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup. He will take over starting in April of 2015, the final month of the spring meet at Aqueduct. He called the job a, quote, dream come true. Big shoes to fill, but Larry Colmus certainly great at what he does as well. We'd like to thank the American Association of Equine Practitioners for providing an on-call veterinarian to explain equine injuries in the event they occur for each of our telecasts in 2014. We thank you for joining us. Today's races produced by Tim Terrell, directed by Jose Colomer, Associate Director Bill Cullen, Broadcast Associates Caden Pfeiffer, LeBron Robinson, Executive Producer for the Jockey Club Ken Adelson, and the Executive Producer for the Jockey Club on Fox is Brad Zager. We'll see you from Woodbine in September.